Hello everyone, I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven, and I'm here in Toronto at the Metals Investor Forum at the beginning of March, and I'm joined by Graham Downs of Cascadia Minerals. Nice to see you.
Great to see you again.
So Cascadia, to set the scene a little, still a new company. I mean, considerably less than a year old, and with a project. I mean, you have a whole set of projects, but we're really just going to talk about Yukon and the Catch property. This is a property that sort of came out of nowhere, seemingly only a year ago, 18 months ago, and you're already sort of expanding your land package and are really excited about the potential that you see here. So, tell us where it is and set the geologic scene for this Catch property.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And you're right. I mean, we're a new company, and we just got trading mid-year last year. And since that time, we've been able to make a brand new copper gold discovery in the Yukon. So, and like you said, at our Catch project. And it's located in central Yukon, southeast of a town called Carmax, which is kind of the hub of the Yukon. And over my almost 30 years of working up in the Yukon, it's the closest I've worked on to a highway and power. So it's a great project. And unbelievably, this project had never been staked ever in the history of the Yukon. Nobody had looked in this area, even though it's a geological extension of the Stikine terrain that comes out of BC, which is this incredibly fertile copper gold porphyry and other projects as well that comes right up into the Yukon, and it straddles the Yukon highway up to Alaska, and we're just on the east of it. And yeah, I mean, it's a great discovery, and we're very excited about that and the areas around it.
I mean, it's really interesting. I feel like people think about Yukon, they think about the gold rush, and it's easy to think that Yukon's been walked all over, right? Everybody's walked everywhere in Yukon because of the gold rush, but that really isn't the case. Yukon is a very big place, and parts of it are pretty hard to walk into. Not that stopped the gold rushers; they walked into some pretty hard places, but also a lot of the focus was on that sort of obvious gold as opposed to on copper. So that's those factors all sort of fed into this being ignored.
I think that's 100% right. I mean, the Yukon really hasn't been known for as a copper territory or jurisdiction. There has been Minto and Carmax Copper, which is more northeast of Carmax. But again, for some reason, nobody looked southeast. Probably just because it's a bit more difficult to explore in there and get into. That's what we're used to when, coming from my old days in the Yukon. So we love that. And that's the opportunity. And
so tell us how you ended up in this area.
Oh, we don't have, how we did, in this area. Well, because I've been working up in the Yukon for many years in our team, but we had somebody that had worked for a previous company come and say he was out prospecting, following up on Yukon Geological Survey silt samples. He's like, listen, look what I'm finding out on here. I staked a couple claims, but there's some copper and gold here. And we're like, okay, well, yeah, let's check it out. And we looked at it and we're like, man, you found something. Like, there's got to be something there. So we went out there and we're like, oh my goodness, like we got to give kudos to the prospector. And he did find something. We optioned the property. And then when I got out there, I mean, you walk around and you're just on some of the naturally exposed slopes, and there's copper mineralization everywhere. You kind of see it, and it's like over half kilometer to kilometer. And now we've extended it to 5 kilometers. We've staked it, like you said, we increased our size a couple times, and then we've done a big regional program because the entire belt up there, nobody's really put any large effort into it, and we're finding new stuff outside of that property already.
Unreal. Okay, so this coming season, you have 2 things that you're going to want to do. You have the place where you made the discovery, which you call the diorite zone.
Correct.
And that absolutely deserves follow-up because you drilled into a copper gold porphyry that at least 100 meters of it delivered 0.3% copper and 0.3 grams gold, that's good. That's a good grade.
That's Red Chris open pit resource grade.
Right there.
It's a little bit deeper. Some of the hole before it was at surface, but this was a little bit deeper, but still. The biggest challenge for a lot of companies is just tagging a porphyry. And we've done it in our second hole. These are the first 2 diamond drill holes that we made this discovery within 75 kilometers of this property. So no one had ever done any work on here, never been staked before. So yeah, it's a great start, and we're excited to get back in there. Obviously, step out on that. We have a much bigger geophysical anomaly, 300 meters to the east. The drill the platforms, and we're ready to drill that in 2024.
Right. So obviously, like you say, step out in a couple directions so you can try and get a 3D idea of the shape of this thing and where the higher grade zones might be. So that's a good chunk of the work program that you're going to want to do. But then, like you say, there's this regional potential, and you and I were chatting earlier about some of the other stuff you're seeing out there.
Yeah, and I think one quick little story here is, you fly around and you're getting people to places, and there's not a lot of exposure, meaning like, it's heavily treed. So then we were flying along and we're like, well, look at that. It's kind of this Gossan or kind of this iron-rich thing. And it's like, well, sure, somebody must have gone down there. Well, of course not. Nobody has. I don't know why. But we were like, well, we're going to go down there. And you can tell because you'd see people walking across these slopes, so their footsteps would be there. Anyway, our guys went out there, had to fly in the day before just to be able to get out there, got out there, and there's copper mineralization in this brand new area, never been staked. So you can look back through history to see if anything has been staked at any time. Nothing. So there's a property there and another property to the west. We have about roughly 10 plus other properties that we need to get back to that we were able to look at this year. And when you find that kind of mineralization, when you're there, you have to stake it. So we did that. So we want to follow up on that. And then just lastly, I do want to mention the PIL project, which is down in the Toodoggone. We've done a couple years work there. It's right in the Toodoggone near Thesis, Amark, Freeport-McMoran. They have a JV. And we're right in the heart of it, road access, and we've done some geophysics there, and we have a beautiful, typical porphyry type geophysical anomaly that we've done there that we want to drill as well, which is nice because it's road accessible. Lots of collaborative work being done out there with exploration teams.
Well, that's a lot of porphyry targets in one tiny little brand new junior.
Yeah, it's great. We're very fortunate.
Fantastic. Well, good luck over the season that is to come, and I certainly look forward to keeping up with the story.
Great. Thank you so much.